PowerNation Under the Hood is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment.
Success can be defined in many ways and forms. When it comes to car building, Candy and Chrome will take you straight to the top. Chris, my friend, you have brought in one pretty little lady.
Hey, Tommy, good to see you.
Man, this ride you have here is gorgeous, man. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great to be here.
So I want you to tell me a little about this thing.
This is a 56 Continental Mark II. It's one of Ford's excesses, if you will.
Right.
These were like 10 grand in 56, which was stupid amount of money. That's like 110, 120 grand today.
They didn't really make a whole lot of these, did they?
2 years it ran. They made 3,000 of them. These were a special car in 56 and 57. You had to be somebody to own one of these. Elvis had one, Frank Sinatra had one.
So with this car, you know, customs is really and truthfully is what got me in kind of the automotive industry, because they're rolling pieces of sculptures of art in a way. But when you were building this one, have you got any hate mail because of the connoisseur of this car?
I'm sure somebody from Ford, some Ford lover today that loved the original Mark II is upset because we kind of cut and tweaked and moved things.
Oh, yeah.
And Ford did a lot of stuff right in 56 and 57, so I didn't want to change the look of the Mark II. I just wanted to accentuate it and change things that I thought we could have made better 70 years ago. But I'm sure some original guys look at this going, oh my.
I see some of the stuff you cut up, but some of it is factory. Like the wheelbase from the cowl to the center line of the front axle. The bottom of that fender is 20 inches long, and normally like a 55 Ford's about 10 inches.
You realize how long this is when you start block sanding.
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
That's still a Lincoln. It's still a lot of car.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of sheet metal and a lot of square inches to cover to get this car done. But yes, this fender's huge.
Saying that, like the length of that hood is crazy. So sitting in it looking across that, man, or down that.
Dude, it's cool though.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, you feel like you're somebody when you're sitting in a Mark II going down the road in this thing. I mean, it's a great car to drive. You know, it's a comfortable, at the time, big dollar cruiser, you know.
Looking at the top on this thing, it doesn't, I'm confused. Is it actually chopped, or did you, I think it was more bulbous at the top.
We took 2 inches out and sunk it down this way. The back glass was laid over and sunk in the trunk. The front windshield, we had a guy, I think it's a Chicago glass guy, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Harding's his name. He cut the glass, and it took several pieces of glass to cut it. And it's not cheap.
Right, we're gonna need another one.
So the roundness of this glass makes it difficult to cut the glass. Flat glass is a lot easier to cut, but we cracked several pieces trying to get the glass to the right shape. So then we did that, and we decided that the top was still just a little too tall. I don't know if it's the correct technical term, but I call it the head of the car, this distance right here between the top of the windshield now.
Mm-hmm.
It was still wide here.
Right.
It looked too fat. Portions are off.
Mm-hmm.
So it took 3/4 of an inch out of the top here as well, the top.
Tail lights, wow. It's missing something too. Isn't there supposed to be
Yeah.
the Continental iconic spare tire thing back here?
You sound like the original guy now.
I'm just saying, I like this better.
So I wanted this car to emulate what somebody like Barris, Winfield, Bill Hines, the custom icons or pioneers of our industry. I wanted to emulate what they were doing back in the day. A good friend of mine, Jack Walker, he told me if you can walk from the front of the car to the back of the car and you're looking at the car and your eyes don't stop, you got it right. So when I was walking to the back of this car, if you will, and I hit this big round hump here, because Ford did a lot of stuff right in the day, but they screwed that up there because they had to put a spare tire in the car there. It stopped. So to make the car flow better, we took that wheel well hump off, got rid of it, and now the back end just flows much nicer to the ground.
Yeah, this thing has that leaning forward, looking fast, sitting still stance to it, and man, it's now with that said, should this been the bumper from the factory?
So originally the bumper, this is all chrome on the back. So we tucked them very slightly in here, and you can see this, and
oh, that's awesome.
That's where your gas bill. We can't see. Ford got this stuff right. The gas bill. While we're standing back here, I was trying to show you this. This is where your gas goes in at. Ford had a great bumper, but there was too much chrome. It was broke up here.
What did you just say?
I know that's the wrong thing to say. Right? But the chrome was the whole way up to here. So we actually reshaped the bottom of this quarter panel right here, and we made this bumper part of the quarter panel, and this is all paint on there. And now it gives it a more sleek, faster look to me. If a 5,007-year-old car could be fast, it has a look at this.
Yeah.
So
Is the exhaust coming through the tips factory on this?
it is factory.
Wow, I knew the Caddies had it, but I didn't know the Continental.
Yeah, right off the back here, 70 years ago, we had exhaust coming through tips. So, and I'm a believer, exhaust should be heard, not seen.
Yeah.
So the days when maybe I was in school in the 80s,
You're older.
just slightly older, you know, when we had the exhaust coming down the sides of the cars and stuff like that, and so you can see it, well, I changed my mind that, you know, exhaust should be heard, not seen, you know.
Yeah.
And
Is the body line factory?
the body line is factory. Really, we had one option in 56 and 57 in these cars, and that was air conditioning. Everything else was pretty much standard, if you will. So if you had an air conditioning car, there was an oval shape right here, almost like a vent, and that you knew it was an air conditioning car at the time. You know, but you couldn't really buy these and option them out to the max because they already were.
Yeah, they were
there.
Everything was loaded up.
Yeah.
First glance, there is two things that I see that tell me it ain't factory. That steering wheel's out of like an early 60s Chrysler, right?
Yes, sir. It's a 61 Plymouth steering wheel.
Yeah, it's square. How does that feel driving it, turning it with it square shaped and...
Okay, so the steering wheel's killer. I love the steering wheel.
Like
Let me
killer,
back
like-
up a little bit. So, I mean, a square steering wheel. And Dennis Crooks, he recast it and it has the flake in it, and we painted it the candy and stuff, you know, the same color as the car did that. And I love the square steering wheel of the 61 Plymouth. However, driving it, well, instead just say we turn right, and we don't realize to do it, but we let go of the steering wheel and it centers itself through our hands.
punching you in the knuckles kind of way?
Yeah, a square steering wheel don't center itself. You can't do that. It looks cool, but it's not really as functional as round. So.
Right.
But it's a killer look, you know. It's on. I did a steering column, you know. We've taken a smorgasbord of parts, whether it be Ford, Chrysler, GM, whatever, and kind of like smushed them all together. But that's what custom guys did in the day.
Yeah.
That's a 60 Chrysler dash. That's actually electroluminescent. It doesn't have lights in it. It actually glows. I don't know the technical, so I might have this wrong. So I'm sure somebody out there will correct me.
No, they're fine.
So, but it takes like your 12 volts DC, converts it to, I don't know, 6 gazillion volts AC, and don't touch it or stick your tongue on it because you might fry yourself if you do it wrong or something. But it looks killer though.
Y'all, it definitely does that.
Yeah, and Chuck has done our interiors forever. Chuck Hanna, and he's done a great job with interiors.
The pleats, tuck and roll.
White tuck and roll.
White, man, that's iconic, man.
64.5 T-Bird seats. We use a lot of the T-Bird seats because we can take the back of them, and that's stock.
Yeah.
And we can smooth them up and paint them body color and get them chrome plated. And
That's wild how pretty this seat is, and that's the back of a seat. I really like also how there's not really any knobs or switches and all that kind of stuff, how it's just very minimal and clean.
I try to hide all that stuff, and they're hidden in a hidden compartment on the dash there. They're accessible, they're just not visually in your face, you know?
Right.
And we kind of do the same thing while we're on that topic, if you will. Door handles. We need door handles, but they're ugly.
How do you even open that thing?
They're hidden in there. They're on the console. And mirrors.
I didn't even think about mirrors.
We had a great drive getting in here, and we had a good time driving through town and stuff for this thing. But I'm trying to pay attention behind me and beside me. I've got no side mirrors, no rearview mirror. Put them on your cars. You need them for a reason. But they're not pretty looking, but you need them.
Now, saying this thing's pretty is easy conversation. First thing that makes a statement, obviously, is the color. And to get to this level, I know it takes multiple coats, multiple materials, quick rundown of what we're looking at.
So I've been with PPG for years, and PPG's been great to me. And they let me experiment with some of their products, etc. So this is actually crystalline glass flake in this car. After hours and hours of block sanding, we base it black, paint it silver with the crystal glass flake, which is silver in it, goes on it first. And it's chunky, if you will.
Okay.
You know, so when you put it on, you're not laying it down smooth because it has glass flake to reflect all the lights like it does.
Yep.
And on top of that, we went through coat over coat of an alcohol-based candy, which is red. And I think there's like 18 coats of candy on here because we wanted to sneak up on it because maybe I'm not that talented to do it 2 or 3 coats.
I get you.
Then pile on the 2002 clear and 6 or 7 coats of clear and start sanding, buffing, and polishing. And hope you get it right.
Right. Well, I think you knocked it out of the park of getting it right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, man.
For sure. Now, the wheels also, they look retro.
So I love the style and look that the vintage guys did in the 50s and 60s. So we have Master Power brakes, do us brakes. We got 13-inch brakes on the front and stuff. Well, that can't fit under a 15-inch wheel. From the white whole way across to the other side of the white, 20 inches, is all aluminum wheel. And then I paint the white fall on it. That's not a white wall tire.
That's crazy too.
That's aluminum.
The little diamond
20-inch.
looks amazing.
My curse has killed our wheels for years now. When you stand back and look at, you know, an average guy, I think, oh, it's got white wall tires on it. No, it's a little more complicated than that.
Another feature of this thing is the eyes that this thing has. Are they recessed?
Well, this is a stock Mark II headlight ring. I Frenched them like an inch or 2 back, if you will. So I took the headlight and mounted it from the back side of the fender instead of the front side of the fender, but they're pretty much stock. The grille, with today's technology and the CNC machines, and it's not my world. We have people do this stuff for us.
Yeah.
But I come up with the idea and I give it to people like Dan Baker or Mike that did our wheels, and they run and cut it with us. So I talked to Dan about doing this grill here, and this is, he cut this grill on his CNC machine and the grill bar, and it's all one-off pieces right here.
Now with your bumper treatment, was this chrome as well?
It was.
Too much chrome though, too much chrome.
Yeah, but if you stand back and look at it, it looks much more sleek and aerodynamic with this small piece there.
What you've done is spectacular. We need to see what's under the hood, man.
I got you, man. Let's get it.
Wow, it's even sparkly under here, brother.
You gotta finish the whole car. And I'm big about not seeing things. Sometimes it's not just the parts you put on, it's covering stuff up like batteries and brake boosters and radiators. You don't see anything under here. That's not quite stock motor.
Nah, that's a late model Coyote, right?
Yeah, it's Ford Racing Coyote, 480 horsepower. Sometimes what makes a car good looking is what you don't see.
Right, yeah.
I know that sounds way too simple, but making a car clean and not seeing everything makes it better looking. In my mind, that's my opinion, but what do I know?
I agree with that. I agree with it. Because a lot of, engine bays a lot of time are ugly. It's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But you can't put ugly with any kind of description on this thing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I do.
Now, I like the stance too. Some people will look at it and go, sure, you can't drive it like that.
Yeah, we don't quite drive it this low.
Mm-hmm.
So Ridetech, we've been with Ridetech for 20 some years. And it's on bags in the front, shock waves on the rear, if you will. And it's run by our phone, Bluetooth. Everything's run by computers and phones today. So we Bluetooth our suspension and raise the car up and down with that to drive it, make it more drivable, Yeah. And it drives great. It drives like a new car. It just looks old.
Mm-hmm. I noticed the license plate says the name of the car.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Well, Scarlet Lady. There was a famous actress in the 50s and 60s, Susan Hayward. Mm-hmm. And that's who owned this car originally.
Whoa.
I think I paid $3,000 for the car. A little rugged.
Right.
So I'm a artsy car dork, if you will. And even though we don't drive this car every day, it is drivable.
Mm-hmm.
And we buy paintings and hang them on the wall, whether it be Picasso, Van Gogh, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Paintings, so that's not my world. So bear with me here. Yeah. We hang them on the wall, look at. But a car could be the same way. Not every car is built to function, drive every day.
Would you consider this a piece of art?
This is a piece of art. In my mind, it's a piece of art.
Absolutely.
And like I said, paying homage to the guys that started our industry.
If you were to wrap this car up into a statement, how would you say that? Like, if you were to describe it to somebody, the mindset, the journey, and the completion.
Wow.
I think you just did it.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. There's so many things that run through my mind. I feel fortunate to even be able to do this and make a living doing this for years, as you should.
Absolutely, man.
Because we could be stuck, stocking shelves or in a cubicle somewhere. Mm-hmm. We get to play with cool cars and make a living doing it.
I really enjoy looking at cars like this because these are the cars that everybody aspires to dream about and want to say thank you for bringing it in here and letting us look at it, going over it with us. And also the other side of it is you basically have like planted seeds in other people in a matter of giving them the ability to dream of creating and trying hard and showing off what you can do.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, buddy.